The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Vibrant Living, and welcome to La Bella Vita Cucina. First off, I'd like to thank GM Roth for the use of this beautiful kitchen here today. Please check them out down here in Nashua, New Hampshire when you get a chance. There's beautiful setups of kitchens and baths and just beautiful, beautiful place to visit. Again, thank you to GM Roth. Today we're going to be making a pasta dish, basically a one-dish pasta dish with fusilli pasta. We're going to also use some hot Italian sausage, some sun-dried tomatoes, and some artichokes. It sounds delicious, doesn't it? So our first thing that we're going to start with today is a box of our organic fusilli. We're going to get our water boiling over here. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to our pot of water just so that our pasta doesn't stick. I'm also going to add a little bit of some sea salt in here to give our pasta a little bit of flavor. So there we go. And to get started, what I'm going to do is take our sun-dried tomatoes, and it comes in a really nice olive oil base with herbs, and I'm actually going to use some of the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes to start our dish. So a little bit of that right in here. And we're going to get that started to boil up. And I also, like I said, I also have 1 pound of hot Italian sausage. So we're going to open that up. And we're going to remove the sausage from the casing. Here we go. And by doing that, we are going to remove the inside here and kind of squeeze it right into our dish. Right into that hot oil that's full of flavor from the sun-dried tomatoes. So I have 4, and that should pretty much work well for 1 box of pasta. So we're going to start to hear a sizzle in just a minute here once we get our sausage going. Great. And this dish, like I said, is a really simple one-pot dish, but it's full of fantastic flavor, and that's what we're focusing on here at La Vita Bella Cucina. Fantastic flavor. This can be used for an awesome dinner, a nice lunch. Here we go. Squeeze the rest of that casing and the sausage here. We're going to throw the casing out. You can use hot Italian sausage if you'd like. You can also use sweet Italian sausage, any type of flavored sausage that you like. It's completely up to you. All right, so we're going to give this a little breakdown here. Kind of break up the sausage into little bite-sized pieces. And our pasta water is starting to boil nicely. Let's check on that flame. Check on this flame. We're going to raise it up just a little bit. Get our dish moving, rocking and rolling here. Perfect. All right, this shouldn't take too long for the sausage to cook, but of course you want it cooked all the way through. Okay. Here we go. Let's turn it up again a little bit higher. Good. I'm starting to hear a sizzle, so that means our sausage is cooking nicely. Okay, so our sausage is starting to cook nicely. We're going to do a couple of flips. Kind of keep it moving. Get it cooked through. This is going to be an amazing dish. You guys are going to love it. And a little bit about the sun-dried tomatoes, actually. Sun-dried tomatoes can be used in pestos, in pastas, in cream sauce, in hummus. You can make sun-dried tomato hummus. It's just an amazing, versatile ingredient and adds a lot of flavor because the water from the tomatoes is extracted and all you're left with is the sweetness of the tomato. And I love tomatoes. You guys know I love tomatoes. My mom had an amazing garden. I've spoken about this before in a couple of other shows, and like hundreds of tomato plants. We'd go down to the garden and pick out the biggest, ripest one and make a sandwich out of it with a little bit of cracked pepper on it. Oh, it was absolutely amazing. So this is really browning up nicely. You don't want it to be too dark, but yet it has to be obviously cooked all the way through. So we're getting there. And the ingredient that we're going to add in here after the sausage cooks nicely are going to be our artichoke hearts right over here. Now, artichoke hearts can actually be purchased fresh, or in this case, I've chosen to use some fresh frozen artichoke hearts. You can pick them up pretty much at any grocery store. I happen to purchase mine at Trader Joe's if you have a Trader Joe's near you. They're in the frozen food aisle. Definitely a huge staple that I always have on hand at home is a nice bag of frozen artichoke hearts. So if you don't know anything about artichokes, they're actually Mediterranean in origin, and I'm going to keep on stirring up our sausage here. They're really tender and tasty buds, and inside, when all the leaves of the artichoke, if you've ever seen one in the store that's whole, when you remove all of the leaves, there's a tiny little surprise inside called the heart of the artichoke, and it is the most tender, unique tasting flavor that you've ever had. So if you haven't tried an artichoke, please try it, especially in this dish, or maybe someday down the road you can boil up and steam up a fresh artichoke and learn how to eat one. It's just so much fun. Don't be afraid of trying it. It is an amazing flavor. I promise you won't be disappointed. Okay, so we're just give the pan a little shake here. We're just about done here with our sausage. It's coming along nicely. Just a little bit longer, and I'm going to grab a bowl that we're going to put that in. Okay. And again, we are focusing on huge, huge flavor. But again, a one-pot dish, which is so great to clean up. You want to have a nice meal and not a kitchen full of dishes everywhere, right? To clean up. So, alrighty, this is looking fabulous. Another quick little shake, make sure we get all these little pieces. They're cooked, it's smelling awesome. Okay, so I'm going to transfer our sausage mixture just into a bowl. And we're going to set this aside, and we will re-enter it into our dish shortly. Oh, it smells so good. And of course, when you purchase your sausage, purchase, sausage that is really healthy and fresh, organic if possible, so that you are getting really good fresh meat. Okay, perfect. So there we go. Our sausage is to the side. We're going to lower our flame down just a tad. Perfect. And we're going to open up our bag of our artichokes. Let's just move this right over here. So like I said, the artichokes have a taste and a texture like no other. And inside is that gold mine of rich, earthy flavor. So we're going to add our artichokes right to our dish. Here we go. And we're going to add a little bit of garlic. Spread that out a little bit. Let's see if we get that flame up again, just a little higher. There we go. And we're going to add our garlic, and we're going to add about a tablespoon because I love garlic. You can never have enough garlic. And we're going to add it right into the oil so that it starts to sizzle and doesn't burn, because we don't like burnt garlic in our dish at all. All right, so we're going to give that a shake. We're going to grab the lid and just kind of put the cover on it so it starts to steam up to cook the artichokes, okay? We're also going to add 1 1/3 cup of our broth. Let's do that. I'm using organic chicken broth. I'm going to add 1 3/4 cup. Perfect. Oh, that smells delicious. Gonna mix that up a little bit. Now you can leave the artichoke hearts out for a little while before you start cooking. That way they'll cook a little quicker instead of fresh out of the freezer. But if you do happen to take them right out of the freezer, they won't take long to thaw. So we're gonna add our broth. Beautiful. Oh, it smells amazing. I wish you guys were here to smell this. We're also gonna just put the cover on it while we measure out about 1/2 cup of some dry white wine. I chose a Pinot Grigio because you guys know I like the sound of Pinot Grigio. It's so fun to say. I'm gonna just do about 1/2 cup. Beautiful. And the wine is going to just reduce our little sauce here down nicely. We're gonna cover that up. Oh, it smells good. Really good, especially right after you add that wine. Yum. Okay, so we're gonna let all this kind of boil up for a little bit and steam up, and then we're gonna be adding our pasta back in. But what we're gonna do now is actually grab our sun-dried tomatoes, and we're going to chop up a nice little bit of them right here. So again, these sun-dried tomatoes, they're full of lycopene, which is awesome for your health. It is also contained, the sun-dried tomatoes also contain antioxidants. So we're gonna give that a nice little slice here. We'll see how our pasta water is doing too. We may have to turn that up just a bit. You can also put your sun-dried tomatoes in a mini food processor and they can get nice and chopped up evenly for you. I kind of like that rustic look, so I tend to chop most things just by hand rather than use the processor. Okay, so let's see how this is going. We want to get our pasta moving here. Get that water boiling. Let's give a big stir over here to our artichoke mixture. Ooh, looks good, smells good. So I want some nice boiling action here. We're getting there. Cover that up. So now we're going to add in our fusilli pasta into our boiling water that we put our olive oil in and a little bit of organic sea salt. You can use any type of pasta you'd like. You can use penne, you can use rigatoni, anything you like. Bow tie pasta, I just happen to like fusilli. So we're gonna give that a nice stir. Let that boil up. I'm just gonna lower that down just a little bit so we don't boil over. There we go, great. So while our pasta is boiling, we're just gonna give it another quick stir. I am going to add in our sun-dried tomatoes, full of flavor, absolutely delish, full of vitamin C and lycopenes and antioxidants. I'm also going to add back in our sausage mixture right here. We're going to just spoon that in with all of its natural juices. Wonderful flavor. It's going to give a little bite to the dish, the little hot, spicy sausage. Oh, it smells so good. And I know we have a hungry crew here today who's going to definitely enjoy having a bite. Okay. Get every little last drop of our sausage right in our dish. And again, this is so wonderful because it is a one-pot meal pretty much. Super easy, super delicious, super fast, fresh ingredients. So we'll give that a little stir while everything kind of heats through together and all these flavors kind of meet one another. Okay, so we'll let that be, and I'm going to add in some of our fresh parsley from our ingredients tray. You take a little bit of that. Now I love parsley, so I'm going to use a nice little handful of it. Going to give that a nice rough chop. It adds beautiful color as well. Nice green, vibrant green. Amazing fresh flavor. And we're also going to add in a little bit of our basil leaves. Now basil is such a delicate leaf that you have to make sure that you handle it well or else it'll start to turn brown. So we're going to just roll up the basil and give it a nice chop. It's also called chiffonade. Oh, amazing flavors all together. Okay, let's check on our pasta. Again, another stir, should be just about ready to go. Now this dish, you can also incorporate a little bit of mozzarella cheese, some fresh mozzarella, or you could add in some pecorino romano cheese, or you could add in some Parmesan Reggiano cheese. I'm going to add a little bit of that to the top of the dish in just a moment. So what I'm going to do now is just give our pasta a little bit of a shake and drain it out. Here we go. And this pot is such a handy dandy pot to have. Nice and easy. Give a little shake. Now we're not going to rinse the pasta because we actually want a little bit of the starch left on the pasta so that our sauce can adhere to it. So we're going to dump that right in. Awesome. Looks wonderful. Good. All right. Put that right back in here. And we're going to give a nice toss to all of our ingredients that are all starting to come together. Ooh, it smells great. And it's just a very light sauce that we've created, but full of lots of good flavor. Ooh. And if you wanted to use gluten-free pasta, you certainly can, to give your body and your immune system a little bit of a break so that it's not so inflamed if you have some gluten issues, or if it's just a lifestyle preference, that's completely fine as well. Oh, this looks fabulous. Smells amazing. And what we're going to do now is just add in our basil and our parsley. All right, that looks fabulous. And let's shut off our water. Give this a nice stir. Ooh, the freshness of the basil and the parsley, oh, just smell amazing. Can't wait for you guys to try this. Beautiful, vibrant colors. And we're ready to plate. All right, let's grab one of our bowls. We're going to add in a little bit of our pasta here, some of our artichokes. Make sure we get some of those in here. Those are my all-time favorite. Beautiful colors, fabulous flavor. Let's get another artichoke on there. Perfect. Then what we're going to do is just add a little bit of our Parmesan Reggiano cheese. Put as much as you like. I happen to like cheese, so I'm going to add a little extra here. And take a bite. There we go. So there you have it, our fusilli pasta with sausage, artichokes, and sun-dried tomatoes. Let's take a bite. A little bit of our sausage, a little bit of pasta. Let's get an artichoke. Amazing flavor. You guys are going to love this. Thank you for joining me here today at La Bella Vita Cucina. Thank you for sharing my passion for good food and the good life. And remember, it's your life. Choose to live a vibrant life.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, Board of Directors, or underwriters.